All right, welcome back to another day trading recap video, and today I'm finishing up $32.64. This is May 10th, 2022, finishing up $32.64. Very slow day. Pre-market I was red, and then the open I was able to make some profits, but there wasn't much opportunity. It's very slow. Probably the slowest day I've had in a while. Probably since January or early February. It was early January and February. It was kind of slow like this, and so this, brings me back to it where I'm just trying to take my profits quick. I'm not trying to trade all day. I'm trying to just make my money and get out. If it's only a small base hit like today, it is what it is. There wasn't much opportunity, so there's no reason to be a little bit discouraged that I'm only up $30. But just got to be grateful for the opportunity that shows up during the day. And I know that in the future, if I can just get through this stretch of cold, eventually it's going to heat up again, and I want to be ready and prepared for when the market starts to give some consistent opportunity all day. And that usually happens when the market is really hot. So we'll review a couple of these trades on EVAX. Popped up on some news. I thought we'd get a bigger move on it. So I was adding, I bought here, took it off as a scratch, and then, I bought back here, took it off for a small loss, bought back here, took it off for a loss. Really, I'm not really sure what happened here. I think I was just a little bit spooked in the market. The volume was under 100,000 shares per 1 minute candle, so not the best. I don't know. I think I was just spooked on this stock, probably because I did up my share size a little bit. So on this stock, I was trading 150 share increments, and I was used to 100 share increments. But I'm trying to size up a little bit and move up my share size. So I started with 150 share increments, and the range was kind of significant. Well, I guess maybe it wasn't. Well, see, this candle was 4 or 5%. This candle was 4%. So, I mean, I guess the range was a little bit significant. So I was a little bit spooked to see, my P&L jump so much from green to red and green to red. And it made me cut my losses much faster than I usually do. So it didn't allow me enough time to let the trade unfold and allow the setup to unfold. And so I was kind of stopping out or shaking myself out because I was a little bit too nervous or too anxious that the trade wouldn't work out. And usually that happens when I up my share size. I can definitely feel that 150 shares now increments is kind of like the edge of my comfort zone. I can definitely feel that. And so I'm just gonna keep kind of pushing it a little bit, when I'm feeling good and the market is good. I'm going to be pushing to that 150 share increments to kind of get myself used to it and kind of break down that mental emotional resistance from upping my share size. But once I noticed that I was a little bit too much of like reactive to the stock rather than logical and letting the trade develop, I pushed my share size back down to 100 shares. Here I was still 150, but I was red on all of these trades, which I should have been at least small green if I would have bought this pullback or bought this pullback for the break of the high. I could have got a nice 5 or 6 cents, a nice 2 or 3% gain on either of those trades and be up solidly pre-market. But I would just trip over myself because I was thinking it'd be a bigger move and I was in too much of a big share size. So I couldn't allow the trade to develop because I was too reactive because I didn't want to take a big loss, which is normal. So that's totally normal. So EVAX, I was red. And then we traded VRM at the open, which was good. But I sized back down on this. And so I was only in 100 share increments. I think I was in my share size 900. So about maybe $1,000 position size. Which, that is okay. That's okay. Here I was in a bit bigger. Here I was in 1,600, so that's more up towards like $1,800 or $1,900. That's more like my average position size. So here was clearly the best move, and that's where I took 1,000 shares, and I was able to take some profits. And pretty much just scalping the front side here right at the open. I just took a position, took a starter position because I felt like we'd break the highs on VRM, the pre-market high. It was in an uptrend. Here you can see we're kind of in an uptrend, so there's momentum going up. So I'd think, right at the open, we'd see some sort of push, whether, we'd see a dip first and then a push, or just a push right out in the open. So I took my starter position. If it would dip down more, I would hold my starter position and wait for buying volume to come in for me to add an average down. I wouldn't be just blindly averaging down into a downtrend unless I saw some buyers on it. So I took my starter position. However, it didn't dip down, and then it went right up into the breakout level of 175, and that's where I started adding more aggressively. And we got pushed through the high, quite bigger push than I thought. Sometimes we break the high and then we reverse quickly, so I took my profits quick. But then when I saw buyers holding this level, I kind of started to scalp, buy the dip and sell into the pop, buy the dip, sell into the pop, buy the dip, sell the pop. But it was a very small share size. You see here, only $1,000 per position. So that didn't leave me, much room for profits. And I only made, from red to green, I made about 30, so 15 plus 30, about $45 on this here, which is okay. It's not even that big of a move. It's barely a 10% move. From the open to the top is about a 12% move, 13% move, and that's from bottom to the top. Most people are no one ever is going to get from bottom to the top. So realistically, it was about, if you nailed this move, that's like an 8 to 10% gain. But I definitely got a nice base hit on this, and I'm happy I sized down a little bit because the market wasn't good. This was the best move. It was a very weak move too. And so here I thought, because buyers were holding 175 and it didn't flush, and it was coming down into the 9 EMA, I thought this candle would initiate another push through the high and break through $2. And so that's why I was adding into this candle and then looking for a continuation move. But since it pulled back down below the 9 EMA, I took it off for a small loss. And then on MICT, I had a couple trades. MICT. So MICT, penny stock again. So just pretty much just doing scalps to the high. Here I did a scalp at 76, adding into the high, taking some profits. And then here again, bought the pullback, adding into the high, looking for a breakout. But we did hesitate here. We did triple top here and then pull back again. Took my profits. And then, I didn't see this push, but wow, that would have been a great move. That's a 27%, that's a 28% move. That's pretty good. But you had to have the balls to be holding through this whole front side. It was very slow front side from 10:30 to about 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, sorry, about 30 minutes. If you could have held for 30 minutes, that would have been a nice gain. But volume is very sporadic. You had, periods where it was 150, 700 shares. You had periods where it was like 700 shares in volume, and then periods where it went down to like 100 shares in volume, 100,000 shares in volume. So very sporadic. It's really hard to tell when you'd see that push because volume wasn't continuously high. So, but, it's definitely some opportunity there if you could get that. And then CYN was the last one that I traded, which I was able to walk away with some profit on CYN. Let's see why my trades aren't over up here. So here we had a move. We had a move here. We had like a sort of like a bull flag. Here you could see this pattern I'll draw it out for you. And price was pushing into this level, and it's very sporadic in this level. So I really was hesitant to get really aggressive here because, you know, the spread, it would dip down and the spread would open up. And that just shows me that there's not enough buyers on this to really make a big enough move, or at least yet. I mean, here you get a pretty decent move. Let's see the percentage on this. About 7%. That's a decent move. But here was very choppy. And so, you know, I just taking smaller size, buying the dip, looking for a break of 470. That was the level. We also had resistance at 475 from a previous day. 475. No, not there. All the way back here. Yeah, 475 was the pivot point. So that was also a level of resistance that I was looking at. So I drew a line there as well. It did end up breaking 475, pulled back again, and then you had that nice move where volume came in. Here, just very small scalps, couple dollars. And then I completely missed this breakout, but that would have been a nice move, even just if you would capture this candle at the 10-cent move there. But then I bought the pullback for a little bit of continuation, bought the pullback, and then it popped a little bit. Took some profit, still holding 100 shares, and then I held for a little bit longer, took it off at 492, and then it broke through $5. I didn't capture any of that $5 move. Pulled back, and then I kind of scalped it for another 4 cents within the same candle, kind of just buying the dip, and then like buyers would bid up the bottom of the candle, and I would just take it off for a small win. And I was able to scalp, you know, a couple dollars off that. But overall, very slow day. You know, I didn't even really need the trade yesterday. I probably should have just. I wasted too much for the time that I invested yesterday in trading, and the reward definitely not worth it. But you know, you never really know when you're gonna have the day where you're gonna have a huge winner, and then that winner is going to, you know, create a lot more momentum in the market, and a lot of these other stocks are gonna start flying again, as well. And you don't know when that day is going to come, so that's why I kind of just show up every day, and so I'm not there to miss that big winner, that big 100% or 200% winner, and then that usually kicks off a lot of momentum for the rest of the week, or at least even a month, or a month or longer if the move is big enough. So I don't know when that will be. Maybe this week, and maybe next week, maybe next month. Who knows how much longer this cold market is going to be, but just going to keep showing up every day. And in a cold market, if it's still cold, I'm just going to keep taking my profits quick, cutting my losers quick. But when it's hotter, I'm definitely going to try to hold my positions a little bit longer, hold the core position through the moves. And that's where I can really dial in and make some decent profits. So hopefully we get that soon. So see you guys, I guess, on the next day trading recap. Hope you guys are doing well. All right, peace.